Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at both WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, when all daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including 5% best bets, normally priced at $35. As an added bonus, any picks packages loaded early for Overnight Tuesday or action during the week will also be priced at $9 until midnight on Monday. So make sure to take advantage of getting these $25 and $35 picks for only $9 before the clock strikes 12 and they return to regular price.
Welcome in and a very happy Monday to you now, December the 5th. Don't ask me where the time has gone. I have no idea, but I do know we are about to begin another week here in the association. Decent card here tonight. We got a few games we're going to break down for you, and then, of course, come up with a couple of best bets for the show, and we're going to do it with, let me hear, 1, 2... 3 of the finest, that is correct, 3 of the finest NBA cappers over at WagerTalk.com as we welcome back in the prop god, Mr. Andy Lang. Feels like almost 40 minutes since I've seen Brian Leonard, mostly because it has been. Brian Leonard, always a pleasure to see you, and the return of one Teddy Covers back in the chair again. Pleasure to see you guys on this Monday, and Andy, it is a $9 Monday, which means there are best bets for $9 over at WagerTalk.com. What do you got locked and loaded ready for us here today?
Definitely have our NBA best bet that is up, coming off a really nice win last night with Kyle Kuzma going over his point total. So we have that 4% play that is up. But if I'm being honest, we have a 5% NFL play, and 14-4 in those. We actually hit a 5% on Thursday and on Sunday. So we're looking to go 3-0 and 5% plays this weekend. They were just jumping off the page for us. So all of those are $9. It's a really, really good slate of NBA games. That's a good NFL game tonight for player props. So that's what's going on at Wager Talk.
Can't go wrong with that, Andy, on a Monday. Brian Leonard, talk to us here coming into this start of the new week in the NBA. Is NHL, anything else you might have available up at WagerTalk.com for us?
I'm just glad that Andy said if he wants to be honest, because we want Andy to be honest. We don't want him coming on here lying to us. We want to know what he's betting. Yeah, I've got 2 college basketball plays up for a nice $9 package. 7-0 over the weekend, 14-3 run. Love these 2 plays. Got 1 play up in hockey that you can buy for $9. But if you're one of my seasonal clients, you've got 3 plays up in hockey. Those are up right now. Unfortunately, since we're doing the NBA show, I don't have an NBA play up, but I will give you the best of what I have in the best bet section.
Outstanding as always, and I would encourage you guys to visit if you haven't done so already. Make sure you check out the earlier edition of Wager Talk today on this Monday. Brian joined our next host here, Teddy Covers, in what was a fascinating show. Guys, would highly encourage you to check out the Monday edition of Wager Talk today. And Teddy Covers, can also catch him over at sportsmemo.com. If this is correct, all right, we're on a 93-52 run dating back to the beginning of this year, around February. That, in my math, quick math, mostly because I'm reading it, 64%, Teddy, from what I understand. Not to mention you're continuing to hammer the 5% big bets there, 67% since what, last year of May, so continuing to profit left and right here, Teddy. Is there anything for $9 available over at Wager Talk?
I've got 2 selections available for this evening, a $9 Monday at Wager Talk. Well, one's for this evening. Or in the NBA. It's not a game that we're going to talk about on the show. You can get that right now for $9 over at WagerTalk or SportsMember.com. And I do have a early. This line's got to move. 5% big ticket play for bowl season. I put it up today because I think it's a bad number. And I think bettors who want to take advantage of it to do that sooner rather than later. You get it $9 today, it goes to 35 tomorrow. So take advantage over at WagerTalk and or sportsmemo.com.
Snooze, you lose here, people. Hop on board. Head over there. Visit Andy, Teddy, and Brian Leonard as we visit the Contrarian Gods here tonight, taking a look at a game in which, they're kind of wondering why not take a shot with the Charlotte Hornets, getting 4 here tonight. And interestingly enough, the Clippers still not sure unless we've been notified that we're going to get some sort of information regarding George. And I mean, it's Kawhi. Let's be reasonable. He's probably not playing until February. But what do you think here, Andy, in this matchup here tonight? Is there anyone you happen to be leaning towards maybe in a prop betting market sort of way?
Well, if I'm being honest, Brian, I wish the contrarian gods. I wish the contrarian gods would pick a game where we have lineups, because I really don't know what to do with this game. Sure, give me the points. Give me the points in this one if you get Paul George and Kawhi out. Although I don't know if Kawhi being in is good or bad for the Clippers, but until we get lineups, I do not have any really strong opinions on this one. The only one I kind of shade to is because they only have player props for the Hornets is Terry Rozier under 2.5 made 3-pointers. He hasn't gone over this one in, I believe it's 5 straight. And for some reason, it's juiced to the over on this one. So you're getting a really good price on him. I cannot say that is a very confident play. We'll get to some other games that I do have much more confident plays. But as normally the theme, I'm going to roll with the contrarian gods. Give me the points with a really bad Hornets team because they may be playing an even worse Clippers team tonight.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they've certainly been spreading the wealth around on the Clippers, mostly because they, on any given basis, Brian Leonard have no idea who the hell's playing for them anyway. 5 different leading scorers they have had over the last 6 games. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, what do you do here? John Wall's been the most consistent guy, and I can't believe I'm saying that with a straight face. So what do you think here tonight about the Charlotte Hornets getting points at home here in this spot?
Well, I will let everybody know that we usually schedule the NBA show later in the day than any other show so we can get as much information as possible. The NBA is just not helping us in this one. If I take a look at the Cleaning the Glass website, which is a really nice website I like for the NBA, Charlotte defensively does 2 things very well. They shut down the threes. Corner threes, they rank 7th. Non-corner 5. All 3-pointers, 4th in the league. It's shutting down threes. They're also very good in transition. Number 2, points per possession, only 1.0. Number 2 for frequency. The problem is this Clippers team, really, that's not how they beat you. They beat you more in the mid-range game, the short-range game, around the rim. So the matchup isn't the best here for Charlotte because the Clippers just don't shoot as many threes as a lot of other teams. So I like the Clippers here. I think the line is probably right at 4. Somebody I know who is a pretty good bettor betted at 3.5 and took it to 4. But that'd be the only way I'd look here, and it's just hard to make a final decision without knowing who's going to play.
So, Teddy, let me ask you, obviously, Kawhi, Paul George, maybe one, maybe both. How big a jump does it happen if they both go here tonight? And is there any value here on Charlotte if neither go here?
So my power rating for the game is Eclipse 2 without either guy. Frankly, if George and Leonard play, I don't know it's a huge positive for LA. How many times do we see it? The star comes back on the court. The rest of the team lets down. The chemistry is off. If Leonard and George are both there, you're talking about 35, 40 shots that all of a sudden those guys are going to get that other guys aren't going to get. There is always, almost always, a process when a star player or multiple star players return after extended absences. George has them in there. Leonard has them there. And neither one of them for extended stretches this season. They both played, but neither has played consistently. So both guys have been out now for weeks. So if either or both get on the floor, That's not a buy sign for the Clips day one. It might be a buy sign for the Clips a week or two from now, but it's not a buy sign for the Clips right now. And you read these quotes. One of the things I'm really looking at this portion of the season, which teams are talking about winning now, and which teams, all the quotes are, yeah, we got to build some chemistry. We'll worry about it after the All-Star break, And the Clippers, every quote from this team, here's Zubac, well, we just have to hold it up until they're back, and when they get back, hopefully soon, we can start to build some chemistry on the court. Ty Lue, we're trying to steal wins while those guys are out. These kind of things build character. Being 13-11, there are positive things. There's no urgency for the Clippers right now whatsoever. Now, Charlotte's a really intriguing team to talk about for tonight because I had the Hornets at home as strong a bet against as you get. All right, you fade Charlotte every time they're at home. There's no home court edge. And that worked for the first month of this season. Over the last couple of weeks, what they do, they beat Philly, they beat Minnesota, they beat Washington, much to my chagrin. They lost to the Bucks last time out, but they were in that game. So there's some emerging home court for Charlotte right now. No, they're not a good team, not even close to being a good team. But they may not be quite the bottom feeders like they're being priced right here. I could only play contrarian in this one. I don't want the Clips at this stage of the campaign. The clients and I cashed ticket against them Saturday, and I certainly considered betting against them here.
All right, there you go here, guys. It is Charlotte at home as a dog here tonight, getting the 4 points. That's where the contrarian gods are looking. Now we'll switch to a featured matchup, which should be a pretty good one here. Although, is there anybody outside of Miami recently going to stop Boston right now as they head to Toronto? 1.5 now they'll be getting, it appears, here to Celtics. 228 is the total in this one. Andy, how about the prop betting market? Anybody pique your interest here, if you were being honest tonight?
Yeah, kind of waiting to see what we get on Marcus Smart. He was questionable, but now I don't see him really on the injury report, so maybe we expect him. But for me, there's a real trend emerging here with Boston when Al Horford is out, and that is an increase in production and points for Jason Tatum. So I will take Jason Tatum over his points tonight. It's a big number, 28.5, but Boston is the number one team in offensive efficiency. Obviously, Tatum is a big part of that. Without Al Horford, he's averaged 36 points a game. And even with Al Horford, he's gone over this total in 5 out of 6 games. Toronto's defense has not been elite recently. I expect their defense to get a little bit better as the season goes on. For defensive efficiency, they're middle of the road. They've been dealing with injuries, so they're kind of getting guys back, and they're trying to get back into the flow of things, but I don't think they're there yet. And with as well as Boston's playing on offense, give me Tatum over 28.5 points tonight. And then interesting trend for Toronto. You wouldn't think of this. Scotty Barnes to have a block. Scotty Barnes, 1 block at least in 9 out of 10 games. So Scotty Barnes' block prop has been cashing, and you're getting a very reasonable price. This is minus 110 on DraftKings. But Jason Tatum over his points tonight. Expect a big game from him. That's my favorite one in this game tonight.
You guys that caught the show on Friday, Andy laid that out for you once again with Scotty Barnes, and that once again cash. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Teddy, I got to ask you, because you bring up home court advantage. Toronto's had a pretty good one here so far this year. They've been really, really good at home. So does that trend continue with a mostly healthy Toronto team for a change?
Yes, I think so. And look, Boston's not an easy team to step in front of. All right, the Celtics don't have many bad games, but at the same time, they're not going to win every game and cover every point spread all the season long, and they've been a great point spread team so far. And you look at this road trip that Boston's on, starting Brooklyn yesterday. All right, and they win that game and cover despite a mediocre shooting game overall. But their defense was tremendous in yesterday's game. Now they're on the second of back-to-backs. After this, they got Phoenix, then they got Golden State, then they travel to LA to fix the flip. So this is kind of a grueling stretch here for Boston. I'm expecting Mazzulla to manage his minutes a little bit more carefully, perhaps, than he's done so far this season. And the Raptors are tough as nails. Dude, they really are. This team is feisty. They gave the Celtics all kinds of problems last year. The two teams split the 4 regular season meetings. And you talked about the strength that Toronto has had on this floor. Yeah, they've had their fair share of struggles, and they've dealt through all kinds of injury concern so far this season. But you put them at home, they've been pretty dominant, both straight up and against the spread. Obviously, 8-3 against the number on this floor, and that's not something I'm looking to step in front of here against Boston. I'm going to back-to-back, so I think the Celtics do take the loss this season.
All right, Teddy leading with Toronto here. Brian Leonard, you've backed Toronto once or twice on the show here over the last couple of weeks. I mean, why not? They dropped 190 on you. But what do you think of this spot, and who are you leaning towards here in this game?
Yeah, Teddy touched on the schedule here, playing Brooklyn. In fact, every team they play on this road trip are projected to be playoff contenders, with probably the Lakers being the weakest of the group, and that's the last one they play. And then they come home and they get 2 home games against Orlando, 2 days apart. So those are easy. So the home games are easy. The road games are where they're going to have a little bit of problem here. They did play last night against Brooklyn. They win that game, but now they got to go up against Toronto. Congratulations to the Miami Heat. They're only the actual third team to beat the Boston Celtics this year. And there's a common theme out of it, is it's teams that get in the way of passing, good pass defenses. Cleveland's a good pass defense. I've seen Chicago play very good pass defense in certain situations. And Toronto, that's the strength of Toronto. They get a lot of steals. They've got guys with long arms that they get into the passing lanes, and that could be why Boston has struggled with them the last couple of years. Toronto's a team that has battled injuries all season long, starting to get healthy. You both have talked about how they played it strong at home. Yeah, I can see Toronto. If you're Joe Public and you have a Boston team who is winning as many games as they're playing, and yet they open up the favorite, and now they go to the dog. There's been some smart money betting on Toronto in this game, and I agree. I think Toronto's the right side in this matchup.
All right, backing Toronto here tonight on the home court against the red-hot Boston Celtics. We'll focus on a total in this game here, guys, as it's called our overtime segment for those of you just joining us. And the total in this one, well, it's up there. What a shocker. Golden State taking on the Indiana Pacers, who I don't think it feels like has played a home game, Andy, in about 6 months. But they're in Golden State here, 241.5, and ironically enough, this is starting to come down here a little bit to 237. I believe Halliburton out for this one here, but what's your gut telling you here? Are you looking still at an over, or do your props start fading people in this one?
Well, yeah, it looks like Wiggins is going to be out. Maybe Poole is going to be out, so I can see why this number is starting to come down here. So, yeah, a couple things. I was looking at Golden State over 64.5 team total in their first half. They've been very good in the first half. But without Wiggins and maybe without Poole, I'm a little bit more worried about that one. There are 2 player props that I like. So I was hoping to get Draymond Green at 8.5 points, but they have gotten it up to 10.5, and I still kind of like it now with Wiggins out. So Draymond is actually, I've kind of been playing him on the point over. I stayed off of him on Saturday because it was a back-to-back. I was glad I did. He had a miserable night, only 3 points. But before that, he had 13, 12, 19, and 13. He's playing better. You see him kind of getting into the flow a little bit more. Really good passing. I've watched quite a bit of him, actually. I've had bet on him, and he's actually making some 3-point shots, which is very new for him compared to the beginning of the year. So it's 10.5 plus money. I might lean that way just a little bit, but now that Halliburton is out, Halliburton was out last night, and I got to say I was pretty impressed with the way Buddy Hield played. So I would look at his points, rebounds, and assists. It was 27.5 last night. He flew over it. I thought he may struggle a little bit getting his own shot or getting some production without Halliburton feeding the ball, but I believe he went for 22, 11, and whatnot, and they're keeping that total there at the same tonight. So if he was able to do it against the Portland team, I think he does it again tonight, a game that should be pretty fast-paced. We know Golden State's the number 1 pace team in the NBA. So I think I did like Draymond Green over as my favorite prop, but I think it's going to be Buddy Hield now over his points, rebounds, and assists, just based on how well he played last night.
Yep. All right. Good stuff there. Brian Leonard, what do you think here? It's come down here a little bit from a, once again, a total in the 240 range there, but it is coming back down. Any room for you to go under in this one, or is it just over or not with these two teams?
Indiana on the road this year has given up 113 points or more to all but one opponent. They're playing the second of a back-to-back, played in Portland last night, gave up 116. Golden State also, third game in 4 days. 241, that's too high to me. I can't play that, especially when you've got some good scorers that aren't going to be in this game. So I lean with the under here. Indiana's just trying to get through this away trip so they get back home and get a little bit healthier, but it would be under nothing for me. I wouldn't play the over 241.
Yeah, do you agree with the market move, Teddy? Keep going under, or is there you think it's reacted too much here to some of this injury reports?
Yes, I agree with the market move. Give me 1 second because I have to backtrack for just a minute. Marcus Smart no longer listed on the Celtics injury report. He's been upgraded to probable. Malcolm Brogdon now downgraded for Boston for this evening. Sorry. I meant to say that last time we were talking about that game. Now, let me talk about, we don't know that Halliburton's not going to play. The markets aren't convinced he is going to play, but we don't know for sure. He's still listed as, quote, questionable with that groin injury. Wiggins is officially out, and Jordan Poole is questionable, so we have to see how this is going to play out. Now, from a pace standpoint, we're talking about the fastest paced team in the NBA and the number 4. We can expect this game to be a track meet. Offensive efficiency standpoint, now we start to see some issues because Golden State's playing fast, and they're still a very efficient team. They're still in the top quartile, but they're not at the top. They're not there with Boston or Phoenix or Denver or even Utah or New Orleans in that regard at the very top. And Indiana, from an offensive efficiency standpoint, they're bottom quartile. They move around a lot, but, the shots come and go. The series history here is all under, even with Carlisle and Kirk. We saw last year them play a 102-100. That stayed well under the total. 3 of the last 4 regular season meetings have stayed, they've only played in the regular season, have stayed under the total. And 2 of them barely got to 200 of those 4. So a lot of stuff pointing in different directions. What Brian said about Indiana's defense on the highway and where they are, this has been a brutal road trip for, not brutal, but it hasn't been pretty for the Magic. They're now in game 6 of this West Coast swing. They played at the Clippers. They played at the Lakers, the only one they won. The Sacramento, Utah, Portland, and now this one. It's a young team. They look gassed. I'd be more inclined to lay the points with Golden State on the second of back-to-backs. And if I'm laying the points with Golden State, if I'm inclined to play that way, I don't know that I'm playing this one under. Yep. So, that's not a total I'm going to get involved with one way or the other. Pass for this.
All right, markets moving on down here. And, of course, we do have a few dogs that might be barking here tonight, Robert. Let's get it.
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
All right, we got a few here on the card tonight that may be barking. Oh, Houston's there. Shocker. Didn't expect that one. Memphis is in there, as is Phoenix, Indiana, OKC, the Boston Celtics we talked about, Charlotte we mentioned, and oh yeah, the Orlando Magic taking on Milwaukee. They too are a sizable dog. So, Andy, start us off here. If there was a dog barking here tonight, which one would you be looking at?
I'm going to go with the Memphis Grizzlies getting 4.5 points. So looks like they're going to be without Ja Morant. They're going to be without Jaren Jackson. They're on a back-to-back. They're 0-3 without Ja Morant this season. They're against Miami, who's rested. Miami's getting healthy. They've won 4 out of 5. this kind of feels like a contrarian gods type of play. That's why I'm going with it. So their starters didn't play a ton of minutes last night. Most of them were 32 minutes or less. Ja played 35. This could be a letdown spot for Miami. They just played Atlanta. They played Boston twice. They were probably expecting to get a full Memphis team. Maybe they might rest a couple guys or lower their minutes a little bit. And if you're gearing up to play a full Memphis team and then you don't get Jaren Jackson and you don't get John Morant, could be a little bit of a letdown spot this last game of a 4-game road trip. For them in the Heat, they're only 3-8 on the road this season. So I think all signs point to Miami winning, but don't be surprised if Memphis pulls one out of their hat. I said hat. And maybe sneaks out a win tonight. So, but give me Memphis plus 4.5 in a close game.
All right, nice dog there with Memphis. Brian Leonard, how about it? Which one of these dogs might be barking for you here tonight?
Well, yeah, my best bet's going to be a dog, and I don't want to duplicate it. So I'll agree with Andy here with Memphis. If you go back to last year when Morant was out, Memphis played really well without him. So as opposed to a lot of these teams, when a superstar player is out, they kind of fade. Memphis is confident without him. And the line has moved, 5.5 points or something, 6 points today. That's too much in my regard. I'll take Memphis plus the points.
All right. Well, you got 2 votes here from Memphis with the dogs barking. Teddy, how about your pooch? Which way might it be barking here tonight?
Well, I, too, have a dog for my best bet. So I, too, am going to go in a different direction right here, like Brian. But rather than give the same play 3 times, let's talk about OKC. And really, let's talk about Atlanta, because I'm a little bit concerned about the friction. And now it's come out in the public between Nate McMillan and Trae Young. It's still not a healthy Hawks. It's a Hawks team coming off a win. Look at Atlanta off a win this season. All right. It's not been, let's string together some victories. It's, let's lose against the spread. Whereas OKC also coming off a win. 7-3 ATS compared to 5-7, including 5-2 in that road dog role. So Thunder are good dogs. Thunder have Gilgeous-Alexander back in the lineup. And I have my concerns about Atlanta right now. So let's look at OKC plus the 6.
Oh, love it. All right. OKC getting some points here tonight for Teddy as his dog. And you heard them mention it, so let's get to it. Time for some best bets here, Robert. We throw 60 seconds on the clock. You guys know how this works. Do whatever the hell you want with those 60 seconds. Just make sure you give us a best bet there somewhere in between. Andy, kick us off. 60 seconds, man. What is your best bet for this evening?
Well, we got a 4% NBA best bet that is up on WagerTalk.com, and we also have a 5% NFL play for tonight, 14-4 on those. Feeling great about the NFL. We're coming off a really big week in the NFL, especially yesterday. But for my best bet today, I'm going with Tim Hardaway Jr. over 16.5 points. He is on a 3-game absolute heater. I'm going to take him to go 4 in a row. So he had foot surgery that ended the season last season. So he started off this year, was pretty inconsistent, but boy, something has happened with him and his role on this team the last 3 games. He scored 22 against the Warriors, 26 against the Pistons, 28 against the Knicks. He is a combined 19 for 38 from 3-point range in those 3 games, 27 of 53 from the field. Before this stretch, he was in a bad slump, but he's hitting threes. And Mikal Bridges, I'm guessing, is going to be on Luka most of the game. Torrey Craig, Chris Paul, they're not going to play tonight. I expect him to have a lot of open looks. Dallas attempts over 43 points a game. He's averaging 12 3-point attempts in the last 3 games. Give me Hardaway over 16.5 points.
Well, if we're being honest, Robert, damn did you let him slide past that. Wow. All right, there we go. I don't know. Did you send him, did you say something nice about Houston? I missed it. My goodness. All right, Brian, talk to us here. 60 seconds on the clock. Where are you going, Brian Leonard?
I can honestly say that Andy can't count to 60 is what I'm going to say. Why is he so nice to Andy when Andy's on there? Okay, I'm going to take a look at a game. Phoenix is playing Dallas tonight. It's a situation where Dallas has just come off of that win. in New York against the Knicks, 121-100. By the way, geez, I hope I have enough time to tell my play while I'm in here. Anyway, I watched the Knicks game yesterday. It was Jewish night.
Ooh.
First time I've ever seen a Jewish Pride night. Kanye was not there, I don't believe.
No.
But the first time I've ever seen that anywhere. So congratulations for that. It's a good idea. I like Phoenix in the first half of this game. They dominated Dallas last season during the regular season. They've come out and said they need to have this game. They went 0-3 last year in the playoffs when they played in Dallas. Give me Phoenix to start the game strong. I'll take Phoenix plus points in the first half.
All right. Love that. Look, shocking that the buzzer was on time there. Even got a recap of Jewish night last night. Fantastic, Brian. Talk to us here, Teddy. We got 60 seconds on the clock. Where are you looking for a best bet tonight?
Well, these two teams met on opening night, Phoenix and Dallas, and which I'm going to talk about as well as Brian. But I'm going to look at the full game here. On opening night, the Mavs took a 22-point lead against Phoenix. Remember, Dallas knocked the Suns out of the playoffs last year in the Western Conference semis. They led by 22 on opening night, and the Suns were like, no. We remember how to play you guys now. And ended up erasing the 22-point deficit and winning the ball game. Now we're getting a chance to bet against Dallas in a position where, A, they're the favorite, B, they're coming off a win. And you want one of these under-the-radar stats that stands out to me? Dallas off a straight-up win this season. 4-7 straight up, 1-10 against the spread.
Wow.
Phoenix is the better of these two teams. They're interested, and they're facing a false favorite. Count me in. Suns +3, full game. The man. It's fine for the man if you shop around.
Look, you can't be buzzing his ass 2 seconds before it goes. Now, what is wrong with you? It's full game for Teddy. It is first half for Brian Leonard. And there you got it as a recap here, guys, with Andy Lang liking Memphis for his dog. But he also likes, in that Dallas game, Tim Hardaway Jr. over 16.5 points. Memphis also, Brian agrees, as his dog, but he's going to go in the first half, expects Phoenix to come out swinging and swinging often there, getting 1.5 points. And Teddy loves him full game. He says, yep, take the points here. Maybe wrong team favored. OKC, though, getting 6 is Teddy's barking dog. And the contrarian gods are looking at Charlotte getting 4 here tonight at home against whoever the hell's playing for the Clippers. Nobody ever knows anyway. Don't forget $9 Monday over at WagerTalk.com. So if you visit Andy, Brian, and Teddy right now, that's right, best bets are $9. You heard Teddy say he's got plays locked and loaded, ready to go. So does Brian, as does Andy. $9, guys. If you head over to WagerTalk.com, you can also visit Teddy over at SportsMemo.com and pick those best bets up for just $9. We are off and running here on this December 5th week here. Plenty of NBA action all week. We've got you covered. So hopefully you'll come back, join us again tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. Until then, on behalf of Andy Lang, Brian Leonard, and Teddy Covers, guys, we appreciate the time. Best of luck with all your plays here tonight. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Good luck.
Let's finish off 2022 with a bang. First, we'd like to thank everyone, as a record number of you took advantage of our Thanksgiving 7-day special. We hope you enjoyed the convenience of getting your favorite handicappers plays daily during the hectic holiday weekend. And we also know that December can be a frenzied month with the holidays and all the sports in play. In the spirit of the season and due to the success of the Thanksgiving special, we are now offering a rest of the calendar year special to get every NFL, college bowl game, NBA, NHL, or any other sport your favorite handicapper releases through December 31st for only $1.99. The early bird really does catch the worm for this special, as it starts the day you sign up. No coupon is needed, and you pay only $1.99 today or pay $1.99 in a few days. The choice is simple. Let's have a great ending to 2022.